Welcome to Become an AI-powered CMO webinar, where we'll discuss top AI use cases to implement in your marketing 2026. Thank you for joining. A small agenda. I want to start with who is in the room because the sign-up list was absolutely crazy. And I want to talk a little bit about my AI journey and some concepts that will be useful for you based on the questions that I got. And then we will jump straight into top 3 marketing use cases, content repurposing, customer insight, and creative strategy. And we'll finalize how to do AI roadmap. First of all, the sign up was crazy. I got 165 marketing leaders and founders, and this is the only audience that I allowed to the webinar. But as a playback, I'm sure a lot of people will be able to watch it. And the questions that were very similar. You all guys are concerned about AI tools because we see all these LinkedIn posts saying, this is the tool, you have to use it, you have to automate your marketing team. And all this pressure and AI, I call it AI anxiety, is huge. Then the question was about workflow and automations, authentic content. How can I create content at scale? And I have so many clients who come to me with that. I get slop. It doesn't sound like my brand. How can I get better quality? And that will be the content repurposing use case that I'll be sharing. Team adoption, how to get the team excited about AI. Continue learning and keeping the pace will be an important topic. SEO and AEO. Sadly, this webinar, I will not talk about AEO. It's something I'm researching and building an agent on. Geo is one of the hot topics in 2026. So that won't be covered, but watch the space. So let's start with my AI journey. I always like to say that AI is like a fitness. I do it my way. It's important to keep consistent, and it's important to level up. Every day you go up with your weights or routine, you increase the intensity. And here I'm sharing my AI journey. It's what I learned and what works for me, but your AI journey can be absolutely different. You don't need to have the same journey. Obviously, the image is AI generated. And this is how AI thinks I look based on the AI avatar that I'll share with you that has only my face. When I got this image, I got depressed for 2 minutes. And then I hired a PT. So I found it very motivational. The most important question that I think every professional should ask, but particularly if you're senior, is what do I bring to the AI? Now there is a skill gap. Someone is ahead in adoption, someone is behind. We all use tools differently, but that skill gap will close very soon. So what do you bring to AI? If we use the same assistant, the same tool, if we have access to the same information, how would my AI output differ from your AI output? Very important questions. And for me, the answer is the following. I have 20 years of D2C marketing experience. I have done it all, and I tried with my companies I work with their budgets, with my clients' budgets. I learned a lot. And that is what I bring to AI. I know how marketing is done and what good marketing and good output, good assets look like. Then I was lucky at the beginning of my teenage life. I was a math prodigy and I really love computer science and math degrees. So this is what I have. I understand a lot. I do remember learning SQL. So that helps me while working with AI, particularly in automation, because it gave me this systems thinking that is important to create an agent. Another thing that is really important for me is the fact what I bring to AI, that I started my experience as a product marketer at telco. And apart from writing specification and working with tech team and communication team to bring new offering to the market, I was also involved with data analytics, and I work a lot with predictive analytics. So I saw the power of sending an SMS or email campaign to a segment versus a predictive RFM model or anti-churn model that will give me an absolutely like 3x, 4x output. So because I knew that predictive AI is so powerful, when Gen AI came to the market, I had no doubt that it's important. I didn't question the power of it. and I jumped straight into it. Another thing that is becoming more and more prominent and a value for AI is having high standards. Well, you can also call it um, being demanding and snobby in some cases, but I call it high standards and having taste and discernment. My high standard allowed me A, to create really good brands in the past, but B, to push AI to its limits. The first AI output will always be 6 out of 10. It will never be amazing. Only with pushing and saying, this is not good enough, these are the references, this is how I want it to sound, give me better output, what do I need to change in my prompt to get to a better output? This allows me to get quite decent output from AI. So a good question to ask for yourself, what do you bring? What qualities and what experiences do you bring to AI that will make you unique? In my case, all started with experiment. ChatGPT was launched in November 2022. I got access in December 2022, and I was like, oh my God, this tool is incredible. It produces okayish output at that time, but I see where it's going. So in January, I was between fractional gigs, and I was like, why don't I take as an experiment and take the whole month of January to learn AI? But learning AI is not enough. You need to produce something. You need to, from skill to action, there is a gap. So as my learning experience, I said, why don't I create a course? And I decided to create AI and marketing course and launch it on Udemy, and I gave myself 1 month for that. In fact, it was more like 6 weeks. But the outcome was quite like the whole journey was incredible. I'm connected with lots of gurus at that time, bought a lot of PDFs and guides because there were no courses at that time, experimented a lot with ChatGPT and launched this course. And what was interesting, I started to get some students in 2023, 2024, but it was very slow. And 2025, I got a hockey stick. I got like 12,000 students in 1 year. I was like, wow, the appetite from the market, the appetite from people is increasing. So now I have 15,000 students and it's a bestseller in this category. So feeling very blessed with that one. I feel for me, it's very impactful to know that people from I'm coming from developing market, so that people from developing markets can access and learn and implement AI. I find it very powerful. But it also gave me a signal that AI is maturing, that there is more demand. I also noticed that the models and the capabilities are becoming much better. So I started playing with AI more. And for all transparency, I can say that I'm serious about AI for maybe 10 months because I started in March last year. And in order to start, at that point, I had an e-commerce brand that I launched called Foreplay. It's an intimacy-enhancing chocolate. And so I had my e-commerce and I was running it with the help of freelancers. So I knew the operational work that was going in the commerce. So I was like, how can I automate this e-commerce? So I came up with 3 agents. One was customer care agent that was drafts emails in line with FAQs and tone of voice. Another one was pulling the status of orders from Shopify for all inquiries that had, where is my order? I didn't receive it. That was an agent with 2 sub-agents. I also have IG carousel automation that I'll share with you. And I had a workflow to write SEO content. Just to let you know, I sold the brand with those 3 automation. I think the automations allowed me to sell the brand at a higher price. Particularly SEO content writing workflow was valuable because with that workflow, Foreplay got 15,000 traffic. There was 15,000 visits a month via organic generated through those blog posts. So I was quite pleased with the output. So meaning workflow was working and the new founder could continue working and replicating the past success and doubling down on it. But I learned during this experience something really important, that I could get an agent, and I built agents in make.com. I could get them to deliver 8 out of 10 experience, but not 10. The formatting was off, some issues I had, like there was there was need of code. Although they say these tools are no code or low code, you do need code. And I realized really fast that I need to partner. And I started Applied AI Co with my brother. We are Victor and Victoria. And surprise, surprise, my father is Victor. So it's a different story. But what I learned that my strength is at building specification, agent requirement specification, thinking through what can be automated, designing a workflow with AI, documenting it beautifully, and then giving to an AI engineer to build. And we started with my brother. It was an incredible experience during summer. We had 2 free clients. We built agents. We had fun. I also launched my AI for marketing course, V1, and I'll share an AI avatar that I use later. And I started consulting. But for me, the decision was clear. I'm the brain, the designer, the creator of agent. This is my strength of identifying what can be automated. And I want to partner with top AI engineers, and I'm so lucky to find those. So I interviewed around 30 AI engineers. I work with 10, and now I have 5 partners with whom I work for different automation, for different projects with different strengths, but it's absolute joy to work with them. And I sold Foreplay in July, August, and it was quite a painful experience. I started consultancy, and as you know, whenever you're fractional and you're between and you don't know what to do, you get a new job. So the market was quite low, but what I noticed while I got this opportunity at Vago, and during the interview was quite flat because I didn't have fintech experience. I didn't have insurance experience. And when you hire fractional, you want to have industry experience. But as soon as I mentioned AI, the CEO got absolutely crazy. We discussed AI for 30 minutes. They got me a job with the requirement that I do fractional growth director role and I implement AI. So I implemented AI use case library and AI roadmap for Vago, also did trainings for the team, learned a lot about adoption, how difficult it is to get people to adopt AI and how much effort I had to go into. For example, for one person, I wrote a custom GPT specifically for them to fine-tune their reports. Their reports were very analytical and heavy, so SLT couldn't really understand them. So they had a custom GPT that helped them rewrite the report in SLT-friendly way. So I basically had to sit down with everyone, understand how they do their work, also understand their weaknesses, and create bespoke use cases, projects, and custom GPT for them, because the appetite and enthusiasm for AI wasn't there. So, and this is exactly what I want to talk to you, that there are different people, different companies with different appetite for AI. I'll be sharing some more advanced use cases of automation and agents, but I want everyone to know that we are early. We are just the beginning. And I created something called AI adoption stages just to show the companies how you move your organization and yourself level up one level, one step at a time. Again, it's like fitness journey. You can't have a six-pack tomorrow. You need time. You need to go step by step. And it can be skills, but I'm even thinking that it's not only skills. A lot of it is mindset. Getting agents part of your life requires a lot of mindset shift. And getting from this, like currently you have 2 or 3 modes of working. Like I do it myself, I delegate. Maybe you have 3 more options. But now imagine everything you do, you should start, what agent can help me do it? If you don't have an agent, you build it. So it's absolutely different mindset. So you need to go on a journey to get to that mindset. But what is interesting, the majority of marketing teams are here. They are playing with AI. They are playing with tools, but there is no roadmap, no strategy, no accountability. It's all very fluid. And this is where you don't really get much benefit from AI. The benefit starts when you have structured pilots, documented things that you're trying. You have either use case or you have roadmap. You start with training to level everyone up. It's interesting. I saw research saying that the biggest benefit in your company from AI will be delivered for junior people. Junior people will get the best benefit. Senior people will get less benefit because you're already there. What you produce is already really good. AI can help you with efficiency. AI can help you elevate your thinking, but AI will not revolutionize your work. For junior people, AI will revolutionize the work, but junior people are the least, have the most resistance in adopting AI, and they are the least eager to do it. So that is interesting. So a lot of companies are here, and a lot of companies start with implementing different capabilities, but also prompting and learning about context engineering. If you have projects on a company level or personal, if you use custom GPT or you have used Claude projects or skills, you have an AI roadmap, you're at stage 4, that it's already it's rare when I meet a company that has it. Majority of this company are B2B with AI roadmaps in sales marketing. Very few companies have workflow automation and bespoke agents. Very few. It's rare. In my experience, I have worked with one client who is in this stage 6, where they have scaled adoption, when everything is integrated. And this is the client that did podcast automation that I'll be sharing with you. And AI native companies, I was lucky to attend workshops and to mingle and to learn from them. We're talking about 11 Labs or Gamma or Jack and Jill or Fixer, like companies who started 2-3 years ago, and they don't have legacy. They build everything from scratch. That is the dream. But my observation and what I want everyone to take from this, we are early. You are in AI bubble, and a majority of people are not in AI bubble. But my observations are that men adopt AI more than women. It's 25-30% gap that we need to close. And when women use AI, they get more benefits. The efficiency that they get is much higher. Here is the message, right? Agencies are the biggest adopters of AI agents. A lot of CTO and technical partners I work with, their main clients are agencies. Most probably that report that you're getting or dashboard you're getting is automated. B2B companies are ahead of B2C. Sales was always like all sales teams, they were using Zapier. Zapier is a basic automation. Now they just moved from Zapier to NA10 or Make or Claude Code. So they're using a lot of agents. And scale ups with AI in product. If there is AI in product and AI is understood in the company, they adopt it also in marketing operations. And when people say I'm an AI first or an AI enabled, what they mean that they have an SOP with a chain of prompts. And this is where it stops in terms of adoption. I also have an example from my 3-day Gen AI conference that I attended in November or December. And the most advanced use cases were 3M translating content into different languages and an agency using research for clients' proposal. It was a scientific agency as a chain of prompts. That was the advancement. But also what I see is an opportunity that senior people, C-level, ex-founders, people with this incredible experience, vision, when they implement AI, when they leverage it, the ideas, the execution they come up with is just it's a different level. So senior people have that ability to identify use cases better and implement it better. So this is the observation. This is why my decision, majority of my technical partners are CTO level with 20 years of experience. So we kind of similar, and we play in a similar background, in similar game. How do we start with AI? That is the question that I'm getting asked quite a lot, and I come up with a Ferrari framework. AI is like a Ferrari, and a lot of us are driving it like a scooter, and some of them just having it in our garage and never use it. Your Ferrari has capabilities. You need to know what you can do. For AI, when I say capabilities, understand how models work, know how to use ChatGPT agents, how to do deep research, how to use Claude skills, when to use Perplexity, when to use Gemini, what is the best to generate images. Just understanding what is possible. Can your Ferrari fly? Yes or no? There are clear skills of how to drive your Ferrari. And the skills are prompt engineering, context engineering, QA, how to avoid hallucinations, how to use ethically AI. So there are skills of how to drive. There are use cases and mindset. So this talk will be focused mostly on use cases and mindset and how to think about AI, but also how to apply it in your life. And when we apply AI, we apply it with marketing tools, with AI tools. And a lot of questions that I got from this beautiful audience, questions were about AI tools. And I want to start with the overall guidelines. Like there is pressure. Pressure comes from LinkedIn. Pressure comes from companies that reach out to us saying, you are missing out or you're not using this tool. All this FOMO and anxiety is there. But just a question, when we as a marketers, as a marketing leaders, when did we start with a tool? We never start our thinking with a tool. We start our thinking with, there is a problem, either there is an opportunity that I want to embrace, or there is an efficiency and pain in the current way of working. Then there are requirements. Most probably there are use cases, and then there are requirements. You might say, I have CRM, now I can't do these 5 things, and I want to do these 5 things. I want to have personalization or this kind of reporting, this kind of attribution. These are my requirements. There are use cases. So AI tool is when I do roadmap, is the last thing on my list, because I start with use case. What do I want to deliver? How would a new experience look? An AI tool is secondary. And if we think a tool, it's important to think about AI assistants that can do a lot. I called them before chatbots. Now I think with what they can do, they are assistants and they can even automate some of your activities. Then there are AI marketing tools specifically that are good, but they need a lot of training on your brand, on your messaging. Then there are AI enhanced software and automation and agent builders. So when you think, so I always start with, this is the use case. I'm convinced that I think I can push AI to automate it. And only afterwards I say, can I do it with AI assistant? Is there a tool that satisfies my requirements? Is there an AI enhanced software that I can somehow leverage? And if not, I just build it. That is the logic behind AI use cases. And important also to see, because from your questions, I see that a lot of you are stuck in efficiency and productivity gain. In fact, AI can generate value across 3 different dimensions. Productivity, you take human workflow and you automate some steps with AI. Then there is operational transformation, or I call it workflow redesign. You completely rethink the work. The biggest value comes from this. The value is not from productivity wins and just drafting blog post or doing some human steps with AI. The value comes with completely redesigning and having an AI first thinking, and the most value for consumers is coming from innovation. How can you completely rethink what you're doing, and with the AI first thinking? So I'll be sharing with you top 3 marketing use cases. Some of them are more on productivity, some of them on redesigning and rethinking a workflow. And let's start with something that I call content repurposing. I don't believe AI can write good content without having a knowledge base. Because what will AI produce? It's average, it's mediocre. It's something that any brand can write. You might have some knowledge accumulated in your account that AI can use, but that is not enough to produce high quality on brand, on messaging, connecting with the customer content. What is really important to understand, and this is why I call it content repurposing, you need to feed AI to input a lot of information, such as your thought leadership content, your messaging, your research, your customer calls, your internal docs. And then AI analyzes this information, and from there it can create a really good content. This is the first step to have on-brand content, and this is the first step that will allow you to create content that is actually useful, that is unique to you. The second step is guardrails. You need to have tone of voice, style guide, examples, do, don'ts. You need to really tell AI what good looks like in the language that AI understands. And guardrails can look like a human that checks AI. It can also be, for example, for one client, we have one agent that writes content from knowledge base and another agent that checks the content and creates a scorecard according to some criteria, right? You can even do it this way. So you have another agent that evaluates the work of a first agent. But sadly, having human in the loop is important. Human is there to bring that taste and high standard and discernment. And also human is there to say, oh, what should I iterate in how should I rewrite my agent to get to the quality that I want? And here is a simple example of your writing assistant that I have implementing for myself, but I have implemented for many clients. Like this is go-to example. It's a custom GPT that has jobs to be done framework and messaging docs, a lot of examples of landing pages and emails that says, this is my knowledge base and this is what good looks like. And then it can write some assets using that knowledge base. Limitations here is that custom GPT allows you to upload only 20 files and has a content window. When you reach it, it starts to hallucinate. So you have to use it for particular use cases or particular form of content. I recently switched from custom GPT to having a project in Claude. I find that Claude writes in a more human voice, and Claude is amazing at learning. So if I have a project where I gave feedback to Claude and said, I don't like that, it will learn from it, and my next writing will be better. So I find that there is some learning. But if you want a system that is much more advanced or learns even better, you need an agent with RAG system, retrieval augmented generation, that will be even more accurate on A, understanding your brand, and B, you can feed your feedback and RAG will learn that this is what you like and this is what you don't like. Another example that I want to share, it's repurposing not from your knowledge base, but repurposing from news. If you receive a newsletter saying this is the top news in AI and this is what is happening, I can guarantee you that newsletter was AI generated, because it's just so straightforward to do it. So you can find really good news article on particular topic and repurpose them as blog post, as carousel, on Instagram, as LinkedIn post, any kind of repurposing. This is why I wanted to share this Make automation, because it's so versatile. You can rethink it in many ways. So this one, my brother built for Foreplay, for the brand that I owned. Foreplay was quite good at Instagram, and carousels were trending and working well. And there were a lot of news articles about dating and fun things that were Instagrammable. So I'll be sharing a demo of how it works. So it has two sub-agents. One is called Foreplay Social Media Daily Populate. This uses Perplexity to grab news, daily news on relationship. So obviously there is a prompt that tells what you need to see. And then it drives it in Google Sheets. So the whole UI and control port for your automation is a Google Sheet. So every morning you wake up and you have 5-6 articles that were pulled from previous day on relationship and intimacy. You as a social media manager, you need to decide which article is good, which article is Instagrammable. And after, for example, here I'm looking at the articles and say, if this article is Instagrammable, let's do an Instagram carousel. I push the button, and this button generates different automation. So this automation is generating caption, and is generating now for Instagram carousel, it generates copy that I need for design. Again, there is human in the loop. I check it and I say, I like it. And when I like it, I can push CSV creation, and I can also push the ability to create, to generate design in Placid. Why I have it this way? Because at the point when I created it, the only way to have templates, on-brand templates and generate design is using this Placid app. I tested some other options that were not good enough. But when I tested for my standards of visuality, I thought Placid app was not perfect. So I had two options for social media manager to select from. Either use automated design from Placid, or go into Instagram, go to Canva and do bulk upload with CSV. And here is I'm showing how to do it. And that also allows you to automatically generate designs. By the way, this is how I do all my presentations. I don't use Gamma app. I just don't. I find designs a little bit too repetitive. I use CSV and bulk upload in Canva. So this is what Placid app generated. As you can see, I don't like how the headline is either font is small or bigger, title is depending on how many words are there. I'm like, that is just not good enough. If I were to do this automation today, I would probably use Gemini Nano Banana Pro and generate all images there. But I also like the idea, even getting to CSV level for Canva, and a lot of social media managers are using Canva templates for the social media. I find that is already so helpful in terms of efficiency, but also in terms of how many carousels you can produce. There is a link here that goes to case study, and you can see this video with my voiceover and overview of the tools that I used. I hope it is helpful. I also have another example that is more on the voice content, because I don't want us to think that content can be only static. And I would love in the future to play a little bit with video content. So this is an automated podcast production that works the same way. So there are news that you can select. And from this news, Perplexity analyzes news. ChatGPT creates a script. 11 Labs does the voiceover, and Transistor pushes everything to podcast to publish it. And in terms of use cases, this is a client work. The use case was done for a real estate company that sells luxury real estate in London. And the automation allows them to create multiple podcasts. And the idea was that they would produce podcasts for Russian audience, for Chinese audience, for Middle Eastern audience, all in corresponding languages, talking about London real estate. So it's a lead gen tool for them. Okay, I hope that it instigated some ideas of what content repurposing, or how you can think about content differently. My second use case is consumer insights. And it is so powerful. In general, as a CMO, I think consumer insights and data, this is what makes a CMO great and a marketer great, because the more you can connect to psychology and mindset of consumers, you can drive conversion. And as you know, to do it manually, you need a function, you need a person. I recall I was CMO of online university, and I had a researcher in my team whose sole role was to do research of different markets. It was the university was working in a lot of African and Asian markets, and they were so different. So we had to get a lot of cultural insights in order to create good content. Now you can get all this with the power of AI. And let's start with a very simple prompt using ChatGPT agent functionality. So I do it every time I have a discussion with a client. I will just check all their reviews, and I'll scrape everything from Trustpilot or Capterra or Amazon. And based on that, I will have lots of information. Sometimes I go further and I ask AI to generate jobs to be done or for forces. Sometimes I ask AI to come up with an audience and do synthetic research and use synthetic audience for that. But it's surprising how quite often I can bring more knowledge. Like when I show what I learned, people are like, how did you learn that? Where did you find it? There is a lot of surprise from founders when I tell them what I know about their brand and how I got it. Another way to do it in a higher level, this is example from Vago. If you do proper messaging work and proper customer insight work, you normally will have interviews, but it's difficult for a human to analyze those interviews. In this case, the interviews were with parent and the teenager who wants to learn how to drive. So imagine you have two audiences sitting in the interview and the interviewer interviewing. And then you need to analyze insights and do jobs to be done and for forces for two audiences, parents and learner drivers. How challenging it is for a brain to do it for a human. For AI, it's easy. You can just upload it all in AI. I still believe there is value for a human to do jobs to be done and fine-tune the work of AI. But now you have a custom GPT that you can ask questions about whether your idea is aligned with psychology of customers or not. There's so many use cases how you can use it. And what is important is not only for marketing. This ChatGPT assistant was used by product. It was used by customer care. It was used by a leadership team. It was very popular. You can go in more automation with your insights. You can create an agent. Well, we'll connect with your sales teams, pull calls from there, pull emails, or organize it all and create weekly snapshot of customer insights. This can be also useful. So there are so many ideas that you can generate with consumer insights. My third use case is creative strategy. I was, by the way, debating because there is also competitive research that I find very impactful, what you can learn about your competition. But I thought that competitive research is not enough revenue generating. In my use cases, and this is how I see it, I try to come up with use cases that will generate the most outcome. Not only output in terms of blog posts and content, but also revenue, conversion, learning that will be very impactful for the company. So I find that creative strategy is impactful, particularly considering that with current Meta, you need so many different creative creative concepts. And you also need to iterate and test. I went to a talk by company Paddy and Thig, and they said that they're testing and creating 1,000 concepts for Meta a month. That is just insane, right? Like the production. So the question is, how can AI help? So I started thinking, what does the work of creative strategies entail? And I thought it's competitor ad cloning, internal winner iteration, inspiration cloning. You just see brands that inspire you and clone your ads. Then there is jobs to be done, creative testing, when you have different jobs, themes, hooks. Then there are new trends. You might have a completely new trend that is organically booming that you can leverage in your paid. and there is pure creativity that you can't AI. So what I would like to share with you is a competitor ad cloning agent that I created as a proof of concept. I wanted to see what I can get from AI in terms of creative brief generation, and that was the level where I stopped. And hope you will like it. So for my competitor static ad cloning, the interface is Airtable. I showed you previous agent where interface was a Google Sheet. Airtable just looks slightly sleeker and more professional. So how it works, you put your name of the brand name, website, messaging, brand voice, and product, and you can put competitor. It can be direct competitor or inspiration. We'll be looking at my past request. For the better menopause, I was fractional CMO there, so it was easy for me to know whether the ad is good or not. And I took 3 brands. I am 8, Huel and Purdy and Thick. Sadly, the automation didn't pick up Purdy and Thick, and it happens because the name of Facebook account might be slightly different, or hallucination, but I didn't find it. So what did automation did for me? It went and pulled the best performing ads. How do we know that they're best performing? They are the longest running. So we assume, an assumption is here, that this brand knows what they're doing. And if this ad was the longest running, it's because it's performing. That is an assumption. So, and it pulls it in such a table look. So you can see this is the creative that you can preview. Then there is a brand, there is description, and there is an image overview. As you know, for AI, it's step-by-step process. For AI, you have an image, and then you generate description, and this description, you can, based on that, regenerate the concept. So this, you see it pulled different ads that you can see. Huel was an interesting one because it's not a direct competitor. It's an inspiration. So I was wondering whether AI can take a concept, a static concept from Huel, understand it, and reapply it to the Better Menopause brand. So now let's look at the briefs, and let's start maybe with something like, so what the automation does, it generates a brief. That is it's a Google Doc. It says this is a Google Doc that we have. And this is the image. Say goodbye to bloating, real ingredients, full transparency, no fluff. I am 8. This is the competitor primary text. Here you can see, this quite often, the formatting that AI has is just a pain. If I were I would check it and improve it. Then it says it selected the product. The Better Menopause has multiple products. It selected Better Gut. Said this is the product we have selected, and it transformed headline to support for menopause bloating. That I would say maybe a little bit boring. Science-led relief formulated for midlife. Oh, that is good. And then it also gave visual direction for designer. The whole idea that this brief afterwards goes to designer and designer does the work. And it also come up with primary text, headlines and descriptions. It's almost like a meta ads brief for ad manager who wants to place it. This is the outcome. I also I'm looking randomly, but let's look at this one. So this is ad clone brief. I'll open it and so this one is for this creative. That is quite interesting because it's not something that the Better Menopause has, a gift in the box. So I'm interested how to see how AI swiped this concept. So said, let's look at renew bundle, better libido and better night. Okay, it selected you're welcome to a Better Menopause is waiting for you. Okay. I would say it's okay-ish. If I were creative strategist, I wouldn't select this concept. The whole idea that creative strategist needs to go afterwards and say, yes, this concept is good or not. But even having ad clone like this, having brief like that and seeing creative inspiration here, it's already, I think, very powerful. What is fuel? Okay, let's look at the results from what the hell is menopause doing to my sleep? Okay, no, save 20% with subscription, and then it's deeper restful sleep, restored energy. Look, it is decent, right? It's a decent swiping and cloning of the concept. So the whole idea of the project was that Creative Strategies gets this access to the best performing concept of any inspiration and competitor they want, and afterwards they can decide whether the concept is worth pursuing. A simple overview how this project is built. It's built in NA10. It also uses a lot of Gemini and Foreplay, its competitor analysis tool, and Airtable, and it has multiple sub-agents for every flow. And when I started thinking about this agent in October, I felt like the output, the visual, the creative output of AI wasn't good enough. But what I see now with Gemini Pro, and this is what I did manually. So I just took the output, I took the brief that AI generated, and I put it in Gemini Pro to see if I can generate a decent design. So here you see designs that currently the Better Menopause is using. This is AI generated. Still a little bit of work. Like still there is some, the gaps, the font, the aesthetic still missing. But I think it's for a lot of brands, it's a decent output. So I see now that it's possible to do end-to-end creative automation for some brands and do it also at scale. So it was proof of concept. So if anyone wants to partner with me and work further and push the boundaries of what is possible further on this project, Creative Strategies is one of the projects I'm passionate about. Another project I'm passionate about is AI avatars. So in October, I started my LinkedIn brand building. I said, you can do it. And my A/B test showed really fast that all posts that have image of me performed much better. Because there is personal touch, because people are like, oh, this is post from Victoria. Maybe some of my friends know me. So there is much more interaction. And then I started thinking about doing a photo shoot, studio, makeup, hair, buying outfits. Like I thought it was like a minimum 1K project. And then I said, why don't I try to create an AI avatar? I tried multiple tools. Higgsfield is the best. These are all photos are generated with AI. Now I can generate, like if I have a post, I ask ChatGPT to come up with the concept of the post, like what should I be doing in this post, and I can generate any image. Sometimes I do them more futuristic, sometimes I do them more at the level that you don't know that it's AI. I tested on my mom, sent her a photo, and she said, oh my God, I love your outfit. I was like, Mom, it's not me. So at that point, I knew my avatar is good. If you want to create one, the input for avatar needs to be very, very high quality. You need to have professional photography as an input, and then your avatar will be decent.
Right, let's talk about reverse prompting. This is a technique where you look at any output, whether it's an image, copy, code, or video, and work out what prompt likely created it.
So this is AI Victoria. She's my avatar for courses. So when I started building my AI for marketing course, I'm like, this speed of change is crazy. How am I going to keep updating this course? And I realized that I need an avatar. This is V2. I documented on LinkedIn my avatar journey. V1 was terrible. V2 is a little bit too static. Next week, I'm spending half a day in a studio and I have a 20-page doc of requirements, what I need to film to have a very good avatar. And I want to iterate V3, so I'll be sharing it on my LinkedIn. But I think it's a decent output for, and visually it looks the same. The gestures and articulation sometimes is off. My avatar sadly has Australian accent that will be fixed I learned that you need to do visual avatars separately and then clone your voice in 11 labs and merge these two together for high quality output. But otherwise, I'm quite happy. The question that you ask me a lot, how do you build your AI avatar roadmap? Like all these, like maybe you will want to build even AI avatar. So this is how I was started step by step. Map your workflow, map everything, what you're doing and how you're doing. Identify use cases, focus on all these three buckets: productivity, operational transformation, and maybe innovation. Prioritize use cases using any prioritization framework you have. eyes, business case, t-shirt sizing, and then build your use cases. You decide whether you can do it within Assistant, do you need a bespoke agent, and the most important decision, how you build it. Do you build it yourself? You build in-house capability. Do you buy a software or you buy consult? Do you partner with someone? What is your AI execution machine? Another question I'm asking, how do you measure impact? There are leading indicators, such as adoption and experiments, like how your team is, how many people are using, how many hours a week they're using. And if you have enterprise level of Claude or ChatGPT, you can get these statistics. Then there is another one of experimentations. A lot of companies are looking at efficiency, time saved or output. So with the same team, how much you produce in terms of output, assets, campaigns. But I also like to anchor it in business outcomes. And for some projects, it's more difficult. For other projects, it's easier. For example, if you launch podcasts, it's definitely like easy to understand after 3 months how many leads that podcast generated. Or if you do a geo, it's also very easy to estimate. For others, it's more challenging. But I try for my client work just to link everything back to business outcomes. And in case you want to accelerate your AI adoption and you want some help, like this year, I decided to focus more on training and consulting. I have been doing fractional CMO, and I also can tell you the demand that I get for fractional CMO projects with AI is just crazy. Like I feel like AI helped me turn around the table when before I was like, hello, this is me, hire me, this is what I can do. Now I have 2-3 inquiries a week from really great companies saying, hey, do you want to come and do fractional CMO and implement AI? Or do you want to come on board and implement AI as a consultant? So, but for now, I'm just doing team trainings, AI marketing roadmaps, and I build agents. I'm partnering with a pharmacy who does all three almost simultaneously. I do team training for senior leadership team. I build roadmap for them, and I also build for them a geo agent that will generate geo and SEO optimized content. That is exciting. And I also work with Aspinall of London for AI consultancy. So, and in terms of agents, I feel like content repurposing is an area that really excites me, as well as creative strategy and geo. So if you would like to partner, it will be a pleasure. And if you're like, I want to get more AI in my life and I want to see how I can elevate my career, I can definitely tell you that it does work in terms of getting clients, but also having more impact. I feel like AI is a leverage. It's with AI, I can have more of me. I can do more. I can enjoy more. I can have that portfolio career that I was always dreaming of. So I released a V1 course in October, and I have so far 100 marketing leaders. Interestingly, everyone head of and above, like I haven't had anyone who is marketing manager join the course. And I'm releasing V2 in March, and people ask me for more use cases, for more agents, for more reusable prompts, and more case studies from top companies. This is how I'm going to improve my course. So you're welcome if you would like to join. And last thoughts of the webinar, like AI can be so playful and so fun if you just get on board and start prioritizing it. I know there are multiple challenges: consistency, time, the fact that AI capabilities double every 7 months. So you need to continuously learning. Personally, I spend maybe 20, 30 hours a week just on learning and trying new things, apart from teaching, doing roadmaps and agents. So the pace is crazy, but it's very rewarding. Think about how you get the most value. How do you get into this workflow redesign and innovation? Don't get stuck in efficiency. Efficiency is like first step, first taste of AI. Go further. And also think, how do you buy and partner? The most learning I get is from people I work, from tech people I work with. It's insane when you combine tech with marketing expertise, the ideas you can come up with, the fusion is just crazy. So think who you can partner, where you can buy tech expertise, and how you can create something that will amplify you. So thank you so much for joining. I'll be also posting the questions. The audience gave me lots of beautiful questions. I'll be replying them and assembling them in a document or a blog post. So you will get answers to all your questions. But thank you for spending this time with me. Super grateful.